This car has never been vaped in.
Never been vaped in?
I think that actually adds about $5,000 to the resale
immediately to the asking price. I'm like, I know I'm gonna do a weird thing for you folks. I'm going to smell different things to make sure that it's not. Guys, it doesn't like smell like passion dragon fruit. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. So
what about like orange guava? You can't just stop at passion guava.
Right. No orange guava. No raspberry.
It just smells like.
This is going to become the new title of this video. Is the only non-vaped STI in the world. I'm pretty confident in that statement.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Normally it's a proof of purchase thing. Like as soon as you go to purchase the car, they ask you for your vape and then they ask you for your payment information. But I bought it used, so
wow.
You know.
So we're tooting around currently, going into town. We're gonna go try to find a more car enthusiast-oriented road. But just from the initial impressions of the car, besides the awesome exhaust, just yeah, the suspension. Well, speaking of suspension, we'll talk about the exhaust in a second. Speaking of the suspension, what are we rolling on?
We're on some BC coilovers.
BC coilovers. Now,
BC Racing.
What I've heard of them is that's a pretty good, like, middle of the road.
Yeah.
Not going to cost you an arm and a leg, but I think it's around $1,000.
Yeah, like $1,000.
So
they're pretty good. I got them cranked all the way stiff, so it's a little bouncy, but honestly the ride is pretty good for full stiffness.
Yeah.
And I got them like that because I'm pretty low.
So even through town, and I mean the video mount could tell you, it's definitely a stiffer ride, but nothing that obviously you daily in this car.
Yeah.
So
nothing. Normally your spine is fine.
This is what's really nice about this. It's just incredibly comfortable. These seats feel awesome.
My calves are symmetric.
Your calves are symmetric.
I hate to see that on the track. Destroy me.
Diesel smoke.
Oh.
Ooh, smoke screen. Your perfectly white paint.
I just cleaned this.
I just cleaned this car. Keep in mind, this is both new roads for the both of us, so we're not going to go full wham bam, thank you ma'am, but there's some...
Also, I like my status as not a felon.
Not a felon. Oh yeah, that is a clipping point. Oh my gosh. When we run back through here, we'll show you guys. There's a big ol' woo. That suspension is stiff, but not stiff enough to keep your lip from scraping.
Yeah, well, that was actually my tire. That was my wheel well on my tire.
Oh,
that's most of the scraping I get.
Dang. I really love the exhaust in this thing. It is aggressive. It's loud enough that you obviously hear it, like in our spirited driving. But it's not drony. There are definitely cars out there that can make a passenger just feel so uncomfortable when the driver gets after it.
But in this car, it's the driver that makes you feel uncomfortable.
My hand's actually been resting on my left thigh this entire time. And the BC coilovers, in a weird way, they feel OEM in the sense that there's no harshness. Like even with this being at full stiffness, I'm not really getting any like bumps, or none of that is coming across, at least from the chassis to me. I don't know how it's feeling and coming through on the steering wheel.
About the same.
Yeah, so in terms of like NVH, it's not any rougher from what I would imagine the OEM would supply us with. But yeah, a lot stiffer and a lot more confidence expiring. Confident, not expiring. We don't want it confidence expire. Confidence inspiring. Whipping around these corners.
It was a lot nicer since I put the coils on. I remember there was just so much body roll, and if I ever tried to gun it, you'd have to wait for the car to do this first, and then
the full squat.
Yeah, the full squat.
All right. Let's see. Give us the juice. TJ, give me some pointers before you Give me your car.
So the only thing I'll say is that first is pretty aggressive. I tend to not even gun it in first just because it's like so short and quick. But you can try it if you want. But
I don't feel like shattering STI gearboxes today. So I've actually gotten to test out this same. That's so much fun. Lowered RPMs down. I don't fly. As I say, I'm not going to launch the car. I load up to like 4,000 RPM. Start getting used to this clutch.
Hit two-step real quick.
It's really fun going from the WRX to this thing, which you're right. Oh my gosh, that intake noise. You could just.
Yeah.
It's so audible. I hope it gets picked up. Wow, yeah, you're right. This is just from a feeling, the BC Racing coilovers feel great. Oh, so that's the wheel running.
That's the wheel, yeah.
Oh.
And if you actually look, it happens kind of a lot when there's like a big bump, but it's pretty good at it if it's not like a crazy bump. But
yeah.
Like right there, nothing.
Yeah.
But gosh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, if you look at the wheel on the outside, there's a ton of rubbing marks. But it's fine, like structural wise, the wheel.
Something you guys can't pick up that I'll get a picture of something later is he's got this massive mirror that like encapsulates. You can see everything, like
everything. You can see both blind spots and every person in your car without moving your head.
Yeah, I don't see why you need to even use like your left and right hand mirrors.
I don't very often.
Captures it all. Oh, we're behind another Subaru. I don't know if is there like a hand wave I should do?
We're pushing 20.
But the displays on these are also really fun and sporty. I mean, the RPM gauge is right in front of your face. Mm-hmm. You got the nice little STI in pink.
Yeah, and there's this little, so something with the Cobb tunes. I guess they can't see it on the video. There's this little dial down there. You can put it from intelligent mode, which is like economic, friendly, really low power, to sport mode, which is a little more throttle response and a little more power.
Yeah.
Up to sport sharp, which is what we're in right now, which is the sportiest mode. But with the Cobb access port, it actually repurposes it into a boost controller, so it goes from like 13, 15, 9, 18 or something like that. I don't know exactly what the tune is I'm running.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of cool. So instead of the throttle response thing, which can be kind of annoying to drive it in the intelligent mode because it's so slow.
Yeah.
Especially when you're used to more throttle response. But it's nice now having it just switch the boost.
Yeah. So like you're saying, do you just keep it in the most aggressive form then for most of your driving?
No, normally I drive it in just the 15 or 6. I think it's a 16 psi map.
Yeah. Just
because I don't really push it very often anyway. But I want to have at least like a little bit of power.
Yeah. Here's half throttle, full throttle. Yeah, getting that clutch shift down. It's really progressive, which is nice. But I need to get on my horse a little bit and really get out of it. But tons of wiggle room with the clutch, which it feels awesome. It's very forgiving to drive too. Just from that little pull right there, like it's fun to feel the back squat a little bit. It's not so much the squatting sense of like, oh, the car's really getting on its butt, but just the sensation of getting pushed. It's really cool.
Yeah, it definitely comes up behind you.
Yeah. And it's so funny to drive this, and where it's a stiff setting and everything, but honestly, until you audibly hear this thing rub or anything, it's just not a harsh ride at all. So we're coming into a slight turn here. Alright. Here's third gear, full. There it is. Wow, yeah, you can really tie these shifts together. That was third to fourth, and that was fun.
You can pretty much, after second, so first to second is pretty slow.
Yeah.
And second to third is pretty slow, but after that, you can pretty much drop the clutch.
Yeah.
And it catches it right in the right spot.
Yeah, that felt pretty seamless. And again, like, you guys have been in the car the entire time I've been driving this thing. So the learning curve, which is also nice, it's very user-friendly outside of, like, I'd say that, like you were saying, the first 3 gears are, I think, the trickiest of them all. And this is a 6-speed too. The STI, I think, came with a 6-speed box.
Yep.
Now TJ and I are just having a really romantic drive in the country.
Very romantic.
Very romantic. Luckily, it's beautiful. We can just enjoy this as two very thought I heard some nice little exhaust
Oh
pops.
yeah, there was a couple pops.
Oh, I love it. So much stinking character in this car. Oh my gosh. You're right though. It is fun, not deadly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They get you going, and then once you get into like fourth and fifth, they kind of just, it's like a little pull.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I'm gonna pause. We're gonna do our thank yous, and then we're gonna end this thing. Awesome, dude. Your 2008 SKI is so rad. Oh my gosh, the additions, like as you guys saw, just the BC Racing coilovers, nice wheel tire package, the spoiler. Get everybody's attention.
Gotta make it look hot, boy. It's gonna be hot, boy.
Thank you so much for letting me drive this thing.
No problem.
COVID handshake.
COVID handshake.
Love it.
I got tested.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like we should talk
Yeah.
about this. Anyways, that's a wrap. Thank you again for TJ, and we'll see you guys